So I know a lot of you watching this video right now are feeling very overwhelmed by your to-do list. On one hand, you want to reach your big dreams, but you feel awful about sacrificing time with your family to get them. Now, real quick, let me tell you why you might be feeling so bad. Most people believe they're overwhelmed because they don't have enough time to cross off every single item on their to-do list. But that's not it. The reason we feel so overwhelmed is that oftentimes we don't understand our cycles. You see, we try and follow a rigid plan every single day without listening to our inner needs. So we end up stressed, anxious, and unproductive. I feel you, I've been there too, and that's why I came up with the holistic day. So this is what most people's lives look like today. They work a 9 to 5, and even if they don't, they still work the same hours every single day. Work is exhausting and they try their best to come up with some sort of balance, and I've been there. And I remember thinking, well, I would love my life if I had 50% work, 50% fun. But that's impossible, right? So if I got 30% of free time, I could consider myself very lucky. So day after day, you follow this routine that someone made up, God knows how many years ago, when humans started gathering around cubicles to work. And maybe you're there right now. So you start your day with a gigantic to-do list, and while you're juggling your tasks, you have this constant feeling that something is off. You see, if you work too much, you feel guilty for not being with your kids, or you feel guilty for skipping the gym. And if you take the day off, you feel guilty for not being productive. And you have this work-life balance standard as the way your day should look like. And you don't realize that this is the reason you sit in frustration every day, because you're not getting things done. Because the truth is, you cannot split your work and personal life into percentages. You see, this is not your son's math homework. Work-life balance does not exist. This is just an unrealistic model that leaves you trapped in a current of self-doubt, of guilt. And let me tell you, what helped me build 2-figure businesses from my home while I took care of my children was not some rigid work schedule. It was something entirely different. I remember when I was just getting started with building my own business, I would read every book I could about how to organize my day and how to be more effective. And I tried to follow the advice, set a schedule, follow the same hours every day, pretend you're at the office, even if you're at home, start working at the same time, and work at the same time. And I was horrible at it. On some days, I would work for 10 hours straight, hyper-focused, and then the following day, I had zero focus. But I realized that this was actually working very well for me. So I built my own system. I had push days and rest days. And that soon became my on mode and off mode. When I was in on mode, I could spend 5 weeks without seeing friends or taking days off. And not because I had to, but because I was riding a wave of focus and inspiration. And so in those 5 weeks, I would get a ton of things done. And then I would go to my off mode, which meant you could easily find me sunbathing on a Monday at 2 p.m. And I started doing all kinds of things, that were not the life-work balance advice, but they worked way better for me. And that's why I came up with a holistic day. I'm sure you've watched plenty of YouTube videos on how to be more productive or, how to get better organized, only to never see the effects in your own life. But what I will do here is different, because I'm not going to just give you tips. I'm going to give you a framework to actually create an ideal day for your business and for yourself, so that you stop feeling torn between work and life. Holistic day model is the reason I can spend days in deep work and release webinars being watched by thousands of people, and at the same time, watch my kids' school presentations and be there for them all the time. Now, there are 4 pillars for a holistic day, and they all feed off each other, and so you need to apply all of them if you want to see real change in your life. But don't worry, they are not super complex. They might not be as easy to apply, because let's face it, anything good in life requires some effort, but they're simple. And once you get used to them, you will wonder, why didn't I make this change sooner? So let's get on with it. And the first pillar of a holistic day is to follow your flow. Now, I know how you probably feel about motivation. If only I had enough motivation, I could take that new job, I could grab that job promotion, I could make 20K in sales. And so day after day, you feel stupid, lazy, and guilty because you cannot bring yourself to have this almost psychotic level of motivation and keep grinding no matter what. Listen, it is totally okay to not feel motivated every day, even when you're doing something that you love. I am known as a motivational expert. Do you think I feel motivated to work every day? No. But you know what? I'm not expecting that either. So when you stop expecting it, you stop putting ridiculous pressure on yourself. And instead, you can start understanding and following your own flow. And it looks something like this. So on the days that you feel pumped up because maybe you got good news, let's say you just got a new client or you're just feeling motivated, that's when you hit that gas pedal and you get as many things done as possible. You know that energy will not always be there, so when it comes, you use it. It's just like a surfer, with the good waves. When they are there, you go for them. But on the days you feel bad or you feel like doing nothing, define one thing you need to get done for that day to be successful or to be okay, and get it done and finish work for the day. I know you might be thinking, Florencia, I can't possibly do this. There's no way I'll be able to avoid my most challenging task on the days that I'm feeling down. I get it, and here's how I deal with this. I always keep my word when it involves other people, and if I have a previous commitment, I will do it. But on my low energy days, I get those urgent things done, and then I stop pushing myself. The crazy thing is that when you start following your flow, you will see that it is so much easier to finish your tasks because your pressure and your stress levels go down. And you start feeling like more excited, about life, about work in general. In essence, become an expert in your own flow. Ride the big waves of your motivation when they are there, go full in. And on the days where you're feeling flat, do whatever is urgent and then give yourself the chance to chill. Now, in order to put flow into practice with your schedule, there is one thing that you will have to learn how to say. It's a 2-letter word that starts with an N and ends with an O. No! As I said at the beginning, customizing my schedule also applies to longer periods of time, So I like to work in cycles, or I also like to call them seasons. And this might be a controversial approach to some people, but it allowed me to create more and to be more effective. So when I am in my on mode, those weeks where I'm hyper-focused on a project, that is also my season of no. No to going out with friends, no to holidays, no to binge watching a Netflix series, no to alcohol, no to late nights. If I'm preparing a new stage talk, if I'm crafting a new online course, if I'm writing a book, I enter my on mode, and with that, my no season. And you don't need to do exactly this, but I do suggest that you start having your own no season, even if it is 1 week per month. So what would your no season look like? What would you say no to? For how long? Start practicing saying no to others so you can say yes to yourself, to your project, to your focus. And this leads us straight to our next step, finding your hour of power. You see, most people think they cannot get things done because they lack the know-how, they lack the willpower. What they truly lack is focus. Distraction is the number one killer of focus, and distractions are everywhere. When I was trying to build my first business from my home with 2 young kids, it was so hard to focus. I tried everything to concentrate and everything failed. I was constantly distracted until one day I discovered something that completely changed my life. A bulletproof method to keep distractions away. And you know what? I think you will not love what I will say, but it changed the game for me and allowed me to build 2 7-figure businesses from my home. And I discovered this by chance. One night I was having this crazy insomnia. I was very anxious because I had a lot of things to do and I was getting nothing done. So here I was tossing and turning in bed all night, and at 5 a.m. I said, there's no point, I'll just get up and work. So 5 a.m. I open my computer, I start working, and I get things done until one of my kids stuck his face between me and my computer and said, "Mommy, what's for breakfast?" It was 7 a.m. When I looked at everything I had worked on, I could not believe my eyes. You see, I got more done in those 2 hours than in the previous 2 days. Did it happen by chance? No. You see, at 5 a.m. there were 0 distractions. No kids, no WhatsApp messages, no emails, no team meetings, no doorbell ringing, nobody awake except me. I was fascinated. And so I tried again the next day, and it worked again. You might be wondering, was it easy rolling out of bed at 5 a.m.? Heck no. Was it worth it? Yes. Is this what work-life balance looks like? Honestly, I have no idea. I only know it works. You don't necessarily have to do it at 5 a.m. You just need to find your own hour of power, where you power through your most important project with zero distractions. For me, that only happens at 5 a.m. For you, it could be at night or in the middle of the day, though I don't know, I highly doubt that can work, but you do you. You just make sure you find this block of no distractions, and you will get so much done that the rest of the day will flow with much more ease. And of course, I'm not rigid with this. Sometimes life happens and I don't do it because of travels, or maybe, one of my kids is sick, or we had a late family celebration at night, but I try and do it as much as possible. And still, on most days, I will try to keep this time block. And so I start my day in such a great way that then everything becomes so much easier. So try it. If 2 hours is too much, do 30 minutes. Just have a time block on your day that's all about total focus on what you want. Hey, before we move to the last pillar, if you found this content helpful, leave me a thumbs up and share this video with your friends. This way, you will help me impact more people with the lessons and frameworks that they need to succeed. And I have many more videos coming up to help you build the life of your dreams. So if you want to learn more about this, subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell so YouTube lets you know when there's a brand new video from yours truly. Now to pillar number 4. I have lost track of how many times I've been criticized for quote unquote working too much because you're a woman and your kids are small. And here's the thing. I don't split my life into now I'm a mom, now I'm working. When people talk about work-life balance, they many times think of them as completely different things, you see. Well, I don't like it. And I do the opposite. I try to integrate them as much as possible. What does this look like? Well, it looks a bit like this, My kids always know what I'm working on. I ask their opinion. Sometimes they even sit at meetings with members of my team, and they get to vote on the color of slides for a presentation. I ask their opinion about titles for my courses. I ask their opinion about thumbnails for my YouTube videos. I even sometimes ask their take on bigger issues of my business. Sometimes they travel with me for work. And they get to meet my business partners and my colleagues, and they get to see how much I focus and I prepare myself before going on stage. And I also share with them some of the not so great parts, some of the crappy parts, when something goes wrong, when we launch a product and it fails. And I think that involving my loved ones in my journey is a beautiful thing. And yes, the border between work and life is very blurry, but it also makes us feel more connected. My family understands when I'm diving deep into something, and they even feel a part of the process and of the achievement. And when I travel without them, they understand and they appreciate my effort because they know exactly what I'm doing and they feel they're a part of it, So I strongly suggest that you do the same. Instead of splitting those two aspects of your life, try to integrate them as much as possible. It will be messy at times, for sure, but it will be worth it, I promise. When you put these 4 steps into practice, you will start living each day in the best way for you. You will have your life designed by you. You will stop putting so much pressure on yourself to get so much done every day, you see. You won't feel torn between your family and your job because you will integrate them more. Things that seemed way harder before will flow more naturally. Because once you understand how to customize your life according to your needs, feeling balanced stops being this nice idea and starts being a reality. Now, there's one key thing you need to have to be able to fast forward your success into building this type of life, and that is self-confidence. Because confidence is key to putting any endeavor into practice and making it work. And that's why I made this next video for you, where I will teach you how to crush your self-doubt and gain total confidence. Check it out.